Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Kosciusko, Mississippi for Game 2 of the MHSAA 4A State Softball Playoffs. Round 2 taking place right here in Kosciusko, Mississippi between the mighty Whippets hosting against the visiting West Lauderdale Knights. Whippets come into the season 18-9 after the sweep of Senatobia in round 1 of the playoffs. We're about to play Game 2 tonight between West Lauderdale and Kosciusko. Game 1 was Thursday night in Collinsville, and West Lauderdale was able to win that game 3-0 over Kosciusko, so it's do or die time for the Whippets here on the home field. A great crowd underhand after a great morning of weather for the Natchez Trace Festival this morning. Hope everybody in Talbot County and surrounding got the chance to come out and support this great local event we have. Now we're about to play some softball to put the icing on the cake of this great Saturday of spring events. So the winner of this series between Kosciusko and West Lauderdale will face the winner of Itawamba and South Pontotoc in the next round. But the Lady Whippets, if they're able to come away with a win tonight, they will go on to play Monday at West Lauderdale for Game 3 in a winner-take-all game to go to the next round of the playoffs. The last 15 meetings between the two of these schools are tied 8-8 apiece, including regular season and playoffs. So it's a rivalry like no other between West Lauderdale and Kosciusko when it comes to softball. Just to put a little perspective on that, the last four state champions have played in this game in 2024 and 2023. It was West Lauderdale, and in 2021 and 2022 was Kosciusko. Once again, this is the premier medical pregame show, and I am Sam Rigby bringing you the broadcast tonight between Kosciusko and West Lauderdale. About to take a break for our national anthem and a prayer, so we'll be back with more with Whippets Softball on Boswell Media Sports.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Papa, what is the deal with all these tariffs I'm hearing about?
Miles, at Frank Chevrolet, we're not worried about tariffs today because the cars we've got in stock can be sold without them.
Papa, does that mean cars are cheaper now?
Miles, that's right. With rebates up to $6,000 and discounts up to $4,000, that's $10,000 off MSRP on select units. It's never been a better time than today, before the tariffs hit, to make your driving dreams come true. Frank Chevrolet has a large selection.
Shop us online at frankchevy.com.
Or come see us on Highway 35 North here in Kosciusko, or call 662-289-4611. Beat the tariffs.
Papa, are we done yet?
Frank Chevrolet GMC. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Did you know you do not have to drive for specialized care? Premier Medical Group in Kosciusko partners with specialists in urology, cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Have your primary care provider refer you to a PMG specialist today.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Boswell Media Sports.
All right, the national anthem was just played here at Peggy Abels Field for Game 2 and Round 2 of MHSAA 4A State Softball Playoffs. I want to thank you for listening to our premier medical pregame show, and once again, I am Sam Rigby bringing you tonight's broadcast between Kosciusko and West Lauderdale. And also we want to thank Frank Chevrolet for sponsoring our online stream, which is available on Boswell Media Sports YouTube channel. If you're not already tuning in, we encourage you to do that as well. And also listen, if you're on the road traveling, listen to Cruising 98.3 or the Kicks 96 website. We'll have that game right here for you to listen to the duration of tonight's playoff matchup between Kosciusko and West Lauderdale. Let's get to the Holmes Community College starting lineups. First for West Lauderdale, who will be starting off batting for the Knights. At second base, it'll be Aniston Snyder, pitcher Addison Cornish, center field Courtney Lewis, catcher Kylie Smith, designated player Sarah Grace Robeson, shortstop Aubrey Cooper, first base Olivia Shows, third base Callie Cottrell, left fielder Jenna Shirley, and the flex in right field is Lexi Lewis. And for Kosciusko, leading off for the Whippets will be shortstop McKinley Dickerson, senior captain, along with catcher Gracie Kate Burrell, pitcher Mary Kimball Price, and first baseman Allie Moore rounding out the captains for the Whippets. And also at third base, Lindsey Blaine, designated player Jules Black, in center field Izzy Wallace in the first pitch from Price. It's a high pitch for ball one from Mary Kimball. So continuing the Holmes Community College starting lineup, designated player Jules Black, left field Izzy Wallace, right field J.C. Black, at second base Izzy Williams, and in the flex in left field is Liza Wallace. 1-0 from Price. That one's in for strike one from Mary Kimball. As we're just getting started in the Kosciusko Auto Parts first inning, it's a 1-1 count and the 1-1 pitch from Price. Bunt is down but missed by Aniston Snyder. It's in for strike two. Just getting started in the Kosciusko Auto Parts first inning, and Mary Kimball Price with a 1-2 count to Aniston Snyder. Snyder takes a step in the box and the 1-2 pitch. Ball has popped up foul. Looks like it may sail out of play, but when Blaine is over at the third base side, makes the grab for out number one for the Whippets. Lindsey Blaine was drifting over to that West Lauderdale dugout on the third base side and made the grab for out number one. So Snyder goes down with a pop out, and it brings up Addison Cornish, pitching tonight for West Lauderdale. So pitcher's duel at the plate between Cornish and Mary Kimball Price. First pitch from Price. That one is hit into left field, going back at the wall, and the catch is made in the warning track by Izzy Wallace, in left field, Liza Wallace making the grab for out number two. My apologies on that. Liza Wallace in left field making the grab. 2 down in the first inning. So the game was scheduled to start at 7 o'clock. We had some little last-minute weather delays. We want to thank Athletic Director Coach Hogan Briscoe, and also Coach Rhodes and Coach Wade Moore out there putting out some quick dry on that first base line to get the field in good playing condition for this playoff game tonight. So I want to thank those coaches and athletic administration for making that happen. Ball is grounded to Blaine at third base. Ground ball right back to Allie Moore at first. And that's 3 down for the Whippets. 3 outs in the inning. We'll be back with more Whippets coming to bat in the bottom of the first. Stay tuned for more Kosciusko playoff softball on Boswell Media Sports.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Did you know you do not have to drive for specialized care? Premier Medical Group in Kosciusko partners with specialists in urology, cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Have your primary care provider refer you to a PMG specialist today.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Good health is our priority.
Hi, this is Jay Price from Kosciusko Auto Parts, your new Exmark dealer. Spring is a lot like fielding drills. Like you have to get in front of the ball, now's the time to get in front of the things on that spring cleaning list. Right now, Exmark is featuring some heavy hitters that can turn those overgrown areas into a field of dreams. Whether it's Exmark's Residential Quest Mower, starting at $3,900, or the fully commercial Laser X Series lawn mower, these mowers will keep your lawns looking great and keep you on the playing field. Stop by Kosciusko Auto Parts and see us. Rough, ain't it?
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to Peggy Abels Field here in Kosciusko, Mississippi for Game 2 of the MHSAA 4A Softball State Playoffs. Through one inning, or 1/2 inning, we should say, that the score is 0-0. 3 up, 3 down for the Whippets, and it's McKinley Dickerson, senior shortstop, going to lead us off for the Whippets in the bottom of the first. Dickerson last night for Kosciusko is 2 for 3 at the plate with a single. Pops off the first one in foul territory for strike 1 for McKinley Dickerson. So it's a 0-1 count to Dickerson. Nobody on base for Kosciusko. Addison Cornish on the mound for West Lauderdale, and Dickerson fouls off the first 2 pitches. Count is 0-2 to Dickerson. Dickerson, one of the leading hitters last night for Kosciusko with 2 hits. The 0-2 pitch, that one's low, good eye by Dickerson, letting it go for ball 1. It was a tight game last night or Thursday night in Collinsville, 3-0 West Lauderdale, but nobody scored a run through the first 5 innings. It's always a close game between these two. Pitches high to Dickerson, 2-2 count, so always a good rivalry between these two schools, West Lauderdale and Kosciusko. A lot of history in the playoffs, and it continues right here. 2-2 pitch. Ball is popped foul by Dickerson, stays alive at the plate with a 2-2 count. Nobody on base for Kosciusko in this Kosciusko Auto Parts first inning. 2-2 pitch from Cornish. In the dirt, bouncing behind for ball 3. And it is a full count to McKinley Dickerson. Dickerson working a full count after fouling off the first 2 pitches. 3-2 pitch. And that one's low, good eye by Dickerson, and it's a leadoff walk for the Whippets. Puts a runner on first base.
Now batting, number 21, Gracie Kate Burrell.
So Dickerson draws the walk to get us going, and it's catcher Gracie Kate Burrell batting in the 2-hole for the Whippets. Pitch to Gracie Kate's low for ball 1. So Dickerson standing at first. Wondering with the slick infield, will she take off and make a steal for second? 1-0 pitch, and that one's in for strike 1 to Gracie Kate. 1-1 count to Burrell. 1-1 from Cornish. Burrell pops this one up, and it sails over the concourse for strike 2, a foul ball by Gracie Kate Burrell. So Burrell looking at a 1-2 count. No score in this bottom of the first inning. Burrell pops this one up into foul territory. Catch is made at third by Callie Cottrell for out number 1. Gracie Kate popped that up in foul territory, and the Knights were able to get under it for out number 1. And it brings up Mary Kimball Price batting in the 3-hole for the Whippets. A pitcher's duel between Mary Kimball and Addison Cornish. As Cornish flew out to left field in her first at bat, and now she looks for the throw to Mary Kimball Price. First pitch is in, outside actually by Cornish, a little low for ball 1. One-oh pitch to Price. That one's in the dirt as well, goes behind the catcher, and Dickerson able to advance on the wild pitch to second. So it's a quick 2-0 count. And now West Lauderdale is going to elect to intentionally walk Mary Kimball Price. So runners on first and second for Kosciusko. And senior first baseman Allie Moore steps into the box for the Whippets. One out in the inning. And Allie Moore steps into the box for the Whippets. Price on first, Dickerson on second. Moore with the first pitch. Ball is popped foul by Allie Moore for strike one. So 0-1 is the count to Allie Moore. A 0-1 pitch to Moore. That one's outside. Good eye by Allie for ball one, with Dickerson on for second and Mary Kimball Price on first. One out in the inning in this Kosciusko Auto Parts first inning. No score in the bottom of the first. One pitch to Allie Moore. That one's pop foul, sails out of play for strike two to Allie Moore. Thought for a split second that Olivia Shows had a chance at it, but the ball just kept drifting out of play, so it sailed out for strike two, foul ball by Allie Moore. And the 1-2 pitch. As Corners takes your time. And the 1-2 pitch. Good eye by Moore. That was a good-looking rise ball for ball two, but Allie Moore elected to keep the bat on the shoulders and keep it to a 2-2 count. Whippets are really doing a good job running up the pitch count. The 2-2 pitch to Moore. And that one's in for strike three. Moore goes down looking, but the runners stay on first and second. Brings up third baseman Lindsey Blaine. So 2 outs in the inning. Third baseman Lindsey Blaine steps into the box for Kosciusko. Blaine made a good grab near the West Lauderdale dugout for the first out of the game. First pitch to Blaine is in the dirt for ball one. So first pitch is low for ball one. The 1-0 to Blaine. That one's high as well. Pitch goes behind the catcher. And Price and Dickerson advance on the wild pitch. So a 2-0 count to Blaine. Runners on second and third for Kosciusko. Two-0 count to Blaine. Blaine pops this one up. It's going to drop foul. So Whippets catch a break on that one. It's going to be strike one to Blaine. As Blaine fouled it, and it was a little bit of a dead spot between the catcher and third baseman for West Lauderdale, but nonetheless it drops foul, and Blaine gets a chance to go back in the box with a 2-1 count. Runners on second and third for Kosciusko. No score in this Kosciusko Auto Parts first inning. 2-1 pitch to Blaine. And that one is in for strike two to Lindsey Blaine. So Blaine gonna have to give the 2-strike cut after taking that pitch for strike two. 2-2 pitch from Addison Cornish. Blaine rips this one, fielded cleanly at short, throw over to first, and in time for out number 3. So no runs scored in the first inning. We're going to go to the top of the second, tied up at 0. This is Kosciusko playoff softball for Boswell Media Sports.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Papa, what is the deal with all these tariffs I'm hearing about?
Miles, at Frank Chevrolet, we're not worried about tariffs today because the cars we've got in stock can be sold without them.
Papa, does that mean cars are cheaper now?
Miles, that's right. With rebates up to $6,000 and discounts up to $4,000, that's $10,000 off MSRP on select units. It's never been a better time than today, before the tariffs hit, to make your driving dreams come true. Frank Chevrolet has a large selection.
Shop us online at frankchevy.com.
Or come see us on Highway 35 North here in Kosciusko, or call 662-289-4611. Beat the tariffs.
Papa, are we done yet?
Frank Chevrolet GMC. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Boswell Media Sports.
So there are one inning of play, no score here in Kosciusko, tied at 0. As the last time the Knights were at play, they went 1-2-3 with a pop out, fly out, and a ground out. First pitch for Mary Kimball Price is in for strike one to catcher Kylie Smith for West Lauderdale. Just getting started in this top of the second inning, brought to you by Holmes Community College. Second pitch low and in the dirt by Mary Kimball Price for ball one. It's a 1-1 count to Kylie Smith. Price takes a look at the wrist for the play call from Coach Moore in the 1-1 pitch. That one's popped up foul in the infield. Dickerson calling off, has a read on it, and Kinley Dickerson makes the grab at short for out number one. So Kylie Smith goes down with a pop out. And it brings up designated player Sarah Grace Robison. Or Sarah Grace Robeson, excuse me. First pitch from Price. Swinging strike one, she went for it. And that is strike one from Price. Nobody on base for West Lauderdale in this top of the second inning with one out on the board. 0-1 pitch from Price. Swinging strike two this time to Robeson. And it's a quick 0-2 count. So Robeson's staring at a quick 0-2 count from Mary Kimball Price. And the 0-2 pitch. Lure low fry by Mary Kimball Price for ball one. So Robeson elects to keep the bat on the shoulders instead of going around for a potential third strike. It's a 1-2 count to Robeson. One out in the top of the second. 1-2 pitch from Price. Swinging strike three this time by Robeson, and Mary Kimball Price gets the strikeout for out number two. So coming to bat for West Lauderdale at shortstop will be Aubrey Cooper with two outs already for Kosciusko. Nobody on base at the top of the second. Game last night, or Thursday night in Collinsville, there was no score through 5 innings. Very close game. First pitch from Price is high for ball one, but it was West Lauderdale in the bottom of the 5th inning putting on 2 runs, and then a solo shot home run in the 6th is what led West Lauderdale to that 3-0 win on Thursday night. And Kosciusko down in the series. Second pitch from Price is high for ball two. So it's do or die for the Whippets on the home field in round 2 of the playoffs, 4A state playoffs. 2-0 pitch from Price. That one's in for strike one by Mary Kimball Price. Good looking pitch. And it's a 2-1 count to Aubrey Cooper. Two outs in the inning. The 2-1 pitch is popped up foul, sailing out of the concourse for strike two by Aubrey Cooper. So 2-2 count from Price. And the ball is grounded to Blaine at third, but it drifts foul for a foul ball. Blaine was making a run at it, but the ball drifted foul before it got past that third base bag. And ultimately, it is called a foul ball. So Cooper has to come back into the batter's box with a 2-2 count. 2 outs in the inning. Nobody on base for the Knights. 2-2 pitch from Price. Ball is grounded back to Price. Off the glove, she makes the grab anyway and throws it off to first for out number 3 to Allie Moore. So Whippets go 1-2-3 once again, and the bats are coming back to the plate in the bottom of the second inning. Stay tuned for more Whippet playoff softball on Posel Media Sports.
Parents and students are just shocked when they find out with a 20 on your ACT, you could go to Home CC for free. Do you have a 20 on your ACT?
Why, yes. Wait. Hold on a sec. You're right. I am shocked. You're saying my tuition could be free?
Yes, and your household income does not matter.
Why in the world would Holmes Community College offer free tuition with a 20 on the ACT?
See, we don't want you drowning in college debt when you graduate. In fact, all of us here at Holmes are so committed to our students' success, we've kept our tuition lower than every other state community college. And even though parents and students are shocked by it and have a hard time believing it, just remember, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT at Holmes CC.
Sounds to me like there's no place like Holmes.
That's Holmes Community College.
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to Peggy Abel's Field for round 2 of the MHSAA 4A softball state playoffs through 2.5 innings of play. No score, 0-0. Whippets and Knights tied at 0 going to the bottom of the second. Leading off for Kosciusko will be designated player Jules Black. The first pitch to Black is in for strike 1. 0-1 pitch to Black. That one's high for ball 1 from Addison Cornish. So 1-1 count to Cornish. No outs in the bottom of the second inning. We'll change up pitch from Cornish. That's in for strike 2. It's a 1-2 count. So Jules Black with a 1-2 count. And pitch from Cornish. That one's hit foul, staying alive at the plate is Jules Black. Fouls off that pitch for strike 2. In the bottom of the second inning, 1-2 pitch by Black is grounded to short, fielded cleanly, and throw back to first is in time for out number 1. Jules Black goes down with the ground out. So Black going down with the ground out will bring up center fielder Izzy Wallace in this Holmes Community College second inning. 1 out on the board already. And Wallace will step into the batter's box trying to get the first hit of the night for either squad. Nobody has a hit yet. Wallace showing bunt. Pulls the bunt back, but it's in for strike 1. So it's an 0-1 count to Wallace. Wallace took a step out of the box, steps back in. The 0-1 pitch, swinging strike 2 to Izzy Wallace. 0-2 count. Wallace steps back into the box, digging into that thick, muddy dirt close to home plate. And the 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Wallace goes down with a strikeout. So 2 outs on the board for the Whippets. And it'll bring up right fielder J.C. Black. So J.C. Black steps into the box for Kosciusko. 2 outs in the inning. Addison Cornish pitching for West Lauderdale. First pitch to Black is in for strike 1. So nobody on base for Kosciusko. The 0-1 pitch to Black. Ball is grounded back to Cornish on the pitcher's mound, and throw back to first is in time for out number 3. Black goes down with a ground out, and that'll do it for the second inning. Holmes Community College second inning, actually, and we're going to the top of the third, tied at 0. Be back with more Whippet softball on Boswell Media Sports.
Before you begin those do-it-yourself projects outside your home or business, be sure you know where your underground utilities are located. Always call before you dig. One easy phone call to 811 can protect you from injury and expense. Plus, it's the law in Mississippi. Make the call and avoid serious or fatal injury. For more electrical safety tips, contact Central Electric Power Association, serving you since 1937, an equal opportunity provider and employer.
Shopping for car insurance is so confusing. Holy cow.
Great. Now we have a cow in our kitchen. Why did you say that?
Because I don't know what coverage to choose.
So just say the State Farm jingle.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A State Farm agent can go over all your options with you and help you choose coverage that meets your needs. Dude, cow, could you move?
Call State Farm agent Angel Alvin McDonald at 662-289-3161.
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to the second round of the MHSAA 4A softball state playoffs. We're going to the top of the third, tied at 0 here at Peggy Abels Field in Kosciusko, Mississippi. West Lauderdale coming to the plate and leading off for West Lauderdale will be first baseman Olivia Shows. So first pitch to Shows is high for ball 1 in this top of the third inning. 1-0 pitch from Price. That one's in for strike 1 from Price as we're just getting started in this Premier Medical third inning. Count is 1-1 to Olivia Shows. 1-1 from Price. That one's bouncing in the dirt and rolls back to the backstop for ball 2. Burrell electing for a change of softball. One might be a little slick. So it's a 2-1 count. Two-one pitch to Shawls. Ball is fouled off for strike 2. 2-2 count for Price. So the 2-2 pitch about to be on the way with no outs in this Premier Medical third inning. 2-2 from Price. Shows thought about it, but leaves the bat on the shoulders, and it creates a full count for Olivia Shows. Full count for Shows and 3-2 pitch from Price. Swinging strike 3. And Shows goes down with a strikeout. Price is second on the night. And it'll bring up third baseman Callie Cottrell. So Cottrell coming to the bat for West Lauderdale as Mary Kimball Price picked up her second strikeout on the night. Top of the third here in Kosciusko. First pitch from Price, missing inside for ball 1. Cottrell takes a step out of the batter's box and gets back in with a 1-0 count here in the top of the third. 1-0 from Price. Pitch is high again by Price for ball 2. 1 out in the top of the third, still tied at 0. Neither team has picked up a base hit yet, similar to the game last night, a very defensive battle in Collinsville on Thursday night. That one's a strike from Mary Kimball Price, a 2-1 count from Price. So once again, game 1 was Thursday night in Collinsville, and the Knights won that game 3-0. Kosciusko looking to try and take game 2 on the home field. 2-1 pitch from Price is popped up, foul, drifting towards the concourse, and sails foul for strike 2. As Cottrell fouls it off, it's a 2-2 count. Good crowd here tonight here at Peggy Abels Field for both sides in this big-time rivalry game between West Lauderdale and Kosciusko. 2-2 pitch is drilled back up the middle, and it's a base hit for Cottrell. First hit of the night for either squad. She grounded it right back between Mary Kimball Price. The ball just rolled back to her really quickly. It was hit well off the bat, and Price just couldn't get a hand on it. The first base hit of the night for West Lauderdale, or both teams. Nobody's gotten a hit yet for Kosciusko, and Cottrell gets the first base hit. So it brings up left field Jenna Shirley with 1 out. Whippets would love to get a double play here and get out of this inning, as we're still tied at 0 in the top of the third. First pitch from Price. That one's high for ball 1. As Coach Moore calls the play from the dugout, Price takes a look at the wrist. And it's a 1-0 pitch from Price. And that one's outside, or a little low from Price for ball 2. So the count is 2-0. Or 2-0 to Jenna Shirley. Time called by Coach Wade Moore. So we're going to take a short 30-second break and come back with more playoff Whippet softball from Boswell Media Sports.
Hi, this is Jay Price from Kosciusko Auto Parts, your new Exmark dealer. Spring is a lot like fielding drills. Like you have to get in front of the ball, now's the time to get in front of the things on that spring cleaning list. Right now, Exmark is featuring some heavy hitters that can turn those overgrown areas into a field of dreams. Whether it's Exmark's Residential Quest Mower, starting at $3,900, or the fully commercial Laser X Series lawn mower, these mowers will keep your lawns looking great and keep you on the playing field. Stop by Kosciusko Auto Parts and see us. Rough, ain't it?
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to Cruising 98.3 in the Boswell Media Sports YouTube channel. After the time called at the plate by Coach Wade Moore, look going to talk to his pitcher, Mary Kimball Price. First pitch back was an attempted bunt by Jenna Shirley, but she pulled it back and it missed for ball 3 by Shirley, and the 3-0 pitch from Price. That one misses for ball 4, and it's a walk to Jenna Shirley. Runners on first and second for West Lauderdale. And it's back to the top of the order for the Knights with Aniston Snyder stepping into the batter's box. Snyder, a left-handed hitter, playing short for West Lauderdale. 1 out in the inning, tied at 0. And the first pitch from Price. Attempted bunt, and it's a miss by Snyder. She missed on the bunt, and it's an 0-1 count. So the count is 0-1 to Snyder. A 1 pitch. Snyder puts a bunt down, and it will sit in the dirt. And looks like she dropped the bat right in front of the ball, so it might be waiting on the call from the umpire. And they're going to have to talk this one out because Snyder put a bunt down and then dropped the bat by the ball, so the ball stopped in play because of the wet field. So they're going to have a discussion about it. So the umpire is going to have a discussion. It may be an interference. Runners may have to go back and be a second out, but we're going to wait on the call from the umpires because she dropped the bat right in front. I don't know if it was on. I don't think it was on purpose, but still, you dropped the bat right in front of the ball and causes a disruption for both players. So they're going to say that the runner's safe at first. Bases are loaded for West Lauderdale. So Coach Moore going to want an explanation from the umpires for that one. The score is 0-0. That's going to be a bunt single for Aniston Snyder and brings up pitcher Addison Cornish. So Cornish goes into the batter's box for West Lauderdale. 1 out in the inning in this Homewood Community College third inning. We're all tied up at 0. 1 out on the board. Bases loaded for West Lauderdale. Bryce takes some time on the mound. And the first pitch from Bryce. Ball is hit foul and out of play for strike 1. So Cornish fouls it off for strike 1. 0-1 count with the pitcher's duel between Cornish and Price. 0-1 pitch from Mary Kimball. Ball is grounded foul, so it's an 0-2 count. Price working with an 0-2 against Cornish with bases loaded in the top of the third. 1 out. So Price takes a look at the wrist after the call from Coach Moore and the 0-2 pitch. And that ball is going to be called outside for ball 1. Ball looked pretty close on the outside corner, but I'm going to say it misses for ball 1. So a 1-2 count for Corners. The 1-2 pitch from Price. Ball is popped up foul and will sail out of play towards the home bleachers, and it bounces out of play for Corners to stay alive. So the count is 1-2. With Mary Kimball Price pitching to Cornish. The 1-2 pitch. The ball is hit foul, and Cornish stays alive at the plate with the bases still loaded for West Lauderdale in the top of the third. So the count is 1-2. Cornish takes a step out of the box, gets back into the box, and the 1-2 pitch from Price. That one is similar to the ball he missed earlier by the umpire. Price put it in a very similar spot as the ball 1 was called, but that one's going to be outside for ball 2 to Cornish. So a 2-2 count for Addison Cornish. Pitch count running up in this at bat. The 2-2 pitch. Ball is hit and will sail foul. So Cornish will have to come back to the batter's box and hit again with the 2-2 count. In this top of the third inning, brought to you by Premier Medical Group. Bases loaded for West Lauderdale, 2-2 count. In the top of the third, 1 out on the board already. What the Whippets would give for a double play. 2-2 pitch. Ball has popped up into right field. Deep catches made in right field for out number 2 by J.C. Black, but it will score a run for West Lauderdale. So the Whippets are able to get out number 2, but it scores the run from third, and the second base runner advances to third base. So runners on the corners for West Lauderdale. 2 outs in the top of the third. Score is 1-0. West Lauderdale just took the lead on the sacrifice fly by Addison Cornish. Runners on the corners, and it brings up Courtney Lewis, center fielder for West Lauderdale. Lewis puts a bunt down, brings it back. Runner taking off for second. And Burrell elects to throw back to the pitcher, Price, instead of throwing to the runner going to second. So runners are on second and third for West Lauderdale. 2 outs in the top of the third inning. Two outs in the inning, the 1-0 from Price. And that one's going to be called low for ball 2 from Price. Courtney Lewis with a 2-0 count. The 2-0 pitch from Price is grounded, and it gets past Blaine at third. It will score 1 run for West Lauderdale. Wallace has it in left field, throw to home, and it's not in time. 2 RBI double for Courtney Lewis for West Lauderdale. So the score is 3-0 West Lauderdale with 2 outs. And it brings up catcher Kylie Smith. Lewis standing on second for West Lauderdale. The score is 3-0 Knights in the top of the third. 3 runs scored in the inning. Smith pops this one up and sails out of play for strike 1. So 2 outs for Kylie Smith in the 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch from Price. And that one is behind Burrell. Lewis will advance to third on the wild pitch. it's ball one. Courtney Lewis advances all the way to third base. 1-1 count for Kylie Smith. 1-1 from Price. That one's high for ball two for Mary Kimball Price. Only runner on base is Courtney Lewis, standing at third as the score is 3-0 West Lauderdale in this top of the third inning, brought to you by Premier Medical Group. Price takes a look at the wrist and the 2-1 pitch from Mary Kimball Price. Ball is hit into left field, going back and into foul territory. The ball will drop for strike two as Liza Wallace was trying to make a play in left field, but the ball just sailed a little too foul, and it drops for a foul ball and strike two. So the count is 2-2. It's catcher Kylie Smith. Lewis standing on third for West Lauderdale, and Price with a 2-2 count. Ball is hit into shallow left. Dickerson runs under and makes the grab for out number 3, and it will end the top of the third inning. Whippets leading 3-0 over West Lauderdale. So we're going to take a break and come back with the Whippets coming to bat in the bottom of the third inning. Stay tuned for more Whippet playoff softball on Boswell Media Sports.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Did you know you do not have to drive for specialized care? Premier Medical Group in Kosciusko partners with specialists in urology, cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Have your primary care provider refer you to a PMG specialist today.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Good health is our priority.
Hi, this is Jay Price from Kosciusko Auto Parts, your new Exmark dealer. Spring is a lot like fielding drills. Like you have to get in front of the ball, now's the time to get in front of the things on that spring cleaning list. Right now, Exmark is featuring some heavy hitters that can turn those overgrown areas into a field of dreams. Whether it's Exmark's Residential Quest Mower, starting at $3,900, or the fully commercial Laser X Series lawn mower, these mowers will keep your lawns looking great and keep you on the playing field. Stop by Kosciusko Auto Parts and see us. Rough, ain't it?
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to Peggy Abel Field. Peggy Abel's Field here in Kosciusko, Mississippi, with the MHSAA 4A state playoffs, second round of the playoffs taking place here in Kosciusko. Game 2 tonight between West Lauderdale and Kosciusko. West Lauderdale picked up 3 runs in the top of the third inning, and the Whippets trail 3-0 to West Lauderdale. And starting the Whippets off in this bottom of the third inning is second baseman Izzy Williams. First pitch to Williams, slow for ball one. 1-0 pitch. Williams hits this one a little drooper to first. Williams making the run, and the throw is in time for out number 1. Thought for a chance Williams would have an opportunity to get in with the kind of a little bunt play, but Williams goes down with a ground out. It's back to the top of the order for shortstop McKinley Dickerson. 1 out on the board for Kosciusko, nobody on base, and Dickerson steps into the box for Kosciusko. First pitch to Dickerson is outside for ball 1. First pitch to Dickerson, missing for ball 1. Just takes a step out of the box. And this Premier Medical Group, bottom of the third, Whippets trailing 3-0 to West Lauderdale. Second pitch to Dickerson is outside as well for ball 2. .20 count to Dickerson. Puts this one into shallow center, and the catch is made by Courtney Lewis for out number 2. So Dickerson goes down for the pop out, and Gracie Kate Burrell steps into the box for Kosciusko.
Now batting, number 21, Gracie Kate Burrell.
2 outs on the board. Gracie Kate Bureau steps into the box for Kosciusko in the bottom of the 3rd inning. First pitch to Bureau is outside for ball 1. Whippets looking to get their first hit of the night, trailing 3-0 to West Lauderdale. Second pitch is high as well for ball 2 to Gracie Kate Bureau. Count is 2-0. Pitch is outside to Burrell for ball 3. It is a 3-0 count to Gracie Kate. .30 pitch from Burrell. And that one's outside, a 4-pitch walk, and Gracie Kate advances to first base. 3rd walk of the night for Addison Cornish.
Now batting, double zeros, Mary Kimball Price.
And it brings up Mary Kimball Price to bat for Kosciusko, with Burrell standing on first. Price was intentionally walked in her last at bat for Kosciusko. And the first pitch to Price. That one's high and inside for ball 1 to Price. So Price with a 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Ball is hit into right field and popped into right. Catch is made for out number 3. Price goes down with a pop out. And the Whippets will go to the top of the 4th inning, trailing 3-0 to West Lauderdale. Stay tuned for more Whippet playoff softball from Boswell Media Sports.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Papa, what is the deal with all these tariffs I'm hearing about?
Miles, at Frank Chevrolet, we're not worried about tariffs today because the cars we've got in stock can be sold without them.
Papa, does that mean cars are cheaper now?
Miles, that's right. With rebates up to $6,000 and discounts up to $4,000, that's $10,000 off MSRP on select units. It's never been a better time than today, before the tariffs hit, to make your driving dreams come true. Frank Chevrolet has a large selection.
Shop us online at frankchevy.com.
Or come see us on Highway 35 North here in Kosciusko, or call 662-289-4611. Beat the tariffs.
Papa, are we done yet?
Frank Chevrolet GMC. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to Peggy Abels Field. Through 3 innings of play, scores West Lauderdale 3, Kosciusko 0. About to get started in this top of the 4th inning, brought to you by Frank Chevrolet. As West Lauderdale was able to pick up 3 runs in the top of the 3rd inning. That's where Kosciusko stands, trailing by 3 runs after a 2 RBI double by Courtney Lewis and a sacrifice fly by Addison Cornish. So it brings up Sarah Grace Robeson, who struck out in her last at bat for West Lauderdale. And the first pitch from Mary Kimball Price, that one's popped up and out of play and foul for strike 1. So in this top of the 4th inning, Whippets trailing 3-0. 0-1 pitch coming from Mary Kimball Price. And the 0-1 on the way. Swinging strike 2 this time to Robeson. It's a quick 0-2 count to Robeson from Mary Kimball Price. So Price with the 0-2 pitch. Ball is grounded. Blaine fields it cleanly at 3rd. Throw over to first to Moore, and in time for out number 1. So Robeson goes down with a ground out. Brings up shortstop Aubrey Cooper. So Aubrey Cooper steps into the batter's box for West Lauderdale. She went down with a ground out in her last at bat. First pitch from Price. That one misses high for ball 1. They're just underway in the Frank Chevrolet 4th inning. It's a 1-0 count for Aubrey Cooper with Mary Kimball Price on the mound for the Whippets. Nobody on base for West Lauderdale. Ball is hit foul, dropping back into play for strike 1. Thought for a minute it would have sailed over the press box but hit the top of the net and dropped behind Burrell for strike 1, so a 1-1 count for Aubrey Cooper. 1-1 pitch. Ball is outside for ball 2. So 2-1 count to Aubrey Cooper. Nobody on base for West Lauderdale, 1 out in the inning. 2-1 from Price. That one's in for strike 2 for Mary Kimball Price. And the count is 2-2. So MK Price with a 2-2 pitch. Ball is popped up into center field. Wallace underneath it has to run and make a grab, and the ball will drop in front of Wallace, so a base hit for Aubrey Cooper. Cooper with the single, and the ball will drop for a base hit. Wallace was making a run at it in center field, made a really good attempt at the last second to dive and try and make the grab for out number 2, but the ball dropped just a bit short of her glove, so it's a base hit for West Lauderdale. And Aubrey Cooper brings up Olivia Shows to bat for the Knights. Shows showing bunt, pulls it back, and we'll pop this one up foul for strike 1. Oh, 1 count, 1 out on the board. So runner on first for West Lauderdale. 0-1 pitch from Price. And that one misses outside for ball 1. 1-1 count for Olivia Shows. Runner on first for West Lauderdale. The Frank Chevy 4th inning. 1-1 pitch from Price. Swinging strike 2 to Olivia Shows. Good looking pitch by Mary Kimball Price. And a 1-2 count. One-two pitch from Mary Kimball. Ball a little high in the zone for ball 2, trying to get her to reach for it, but Shows wasn't going for it. So the count is 2-2 to Olivia Shows. Runner on first for West Lauderdale with 1 out in the top of the 4th. 2-2 pitch from Price. And that one's high as well for ball 3 from Price, so it's a full count for Olivia Shows. 1 out in the top of the 4th. Whippets trailing 3-0 to West Lauderdale. 3-2 pitch from Mary Kimball Price. Swinging strike 3 goes down. Runner taken off for second, but the pitch goes behind Dickerson. Throwback to seconds, not in time, so the runner gets in safely with stolen base at second. Cooper with the stolen base for West Lauderdale. And Shows goes down with a strikeout, so it brings up Callie Cottrell, who will come to bat for West Lauderdale with 2 outs in this top of the 4th inning. Callie had a single for West Lauderdale in the 3rd inning for Cottrell. So 2 outs, first pitch to Cottrell. This one's grounded to Izzy Williams at second. Clean play, throw over to first to Moore in time for out number 3. So the Whippets are able to hold West Lauderdale to no runs in the top of the 4th. We'll be back with more Whippets playoff softball on Boswell Media Sports.
Parents and students are just shocked when they find out with a 20 on your ACT, you could go to Home CC for free. Do you have a 20 on your ACT?
Why, yes. Wait. Hold on a sec. You're right. I am shocked. You're saying my tuition could be free?
Yes, and your household income does not matter.
Why in the world would Holmes Community College offer free tuition with a 20 on the ACT?
See, we don't want you drowning in college debt when you graduate. In fact, all of us here at Holmes are so committed to our students' success, we've kept our tuition lower than every other state community college. And even though parents and students are shocked by it and have a hard time believing it, just remember, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT at Holmes CC.
Sounds to me like there's no place like Holmes.
That's Holmes Community College.
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to Peggy Aples Field here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Whippets trailing West Lauderdale 3-0 in Game 2 of the MHSAA 4A Softball State Playoffs. Whippets need to win this game to advance in the playoffs, losing Game 1 on Thursday night 3-0 to West Lauderdale. Scores 3-0 here tonight in Kosciusko. And it'll be Allie Moore leading us off in the Frank Chevrolet fourth inning. First pitch to Moore is in for strike one. 0-1 pitch to Allie, and that one's outside for ball one. Count is 1-1 to Allie Moore. Cottrell still pitching for West Lauderdale, or excuse me, Cornish pitching for West Lauderdale. As Cottrell went down with the ground out to end us in the top of the fourth for West Lauderdale. 2-1 pitch to Moore, and that one's high for ball three, so Allie Moore with a 3-1 count. No outs in the inning. 3-1 pitch to Moore. Ball is grounded to second, fielded cleanly, throw over to first, and it's in time for out number one. So Moore goes down with a ground out, and they'll bring up third baseman Lindsey Blaine. One out in the bottom of the fourth inning, brought to you by Frank Chevrolet. First pitch to Lindsey Blaine is high for ball one. Nobody on base for Kosciusko in the bottom of the fourth with one out already. 1-0 pitch to Blaine. Thought about it, and it is in for strike one to Lindsey Blaine. One count from Addison Cornish. That one's in as well, calling for strike two to Lindsey Blaine. One out on the board and 1-2 count for Lindsey Blaine. That one's pitched high for ball two. Blaine stays alive in the box. With nobody on base for Kosciusko, one out in this top of the fourth inning. 2-2 pitch to Blaine. That one's high as well. Good eye by Lindsey Blaine. 3-0 West Lauderdale leads in the bottom of the fourth. Whippets have yet to get a hit. No base hits for Kosciusko. A couple of walks. Blaine puts this one into left field, and the catch is made in left field by Jenna Shirley for out number two. So 2 outs on the board, and it brings up designated player Jules Black coming to the box for Kosciusko. Black went down with a ground out in her last at bat for the Whippets. First pitch to Jules Black. That one's outside for ball one. One 1-0 count for Black. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. And that one's high and out of the zone as well for ball two. Count is 2-0. That one's high as well to Jules Black, so a 3-0 count. to Jules Black. 3-0 pitch. And that one's in for a strike one. Jules Black. It's a 3-1 count. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. (3-1) to Black. And that one's in for strike two, so it's a full count to Jules Black. (3-2) pitch on the way to Black. And rings her up for strike three to Jules Black. Addison Cornish with a strikeout, so the Whippets go down 1-2-3. And we're going to the top of the fifth. Whippets trailing 3-0. Stay tuned for more Whippet playoff softball from Boswell Media Sports.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Good health is our priority.
Did you know you do not have to drive for specialized care? Premier Medical Group in Kosciusko partners with specialists in urology, cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Have your primary care provider refer you to a PMG specialist today.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Good health is our priority.
Rough, ain't it? Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round two, game two of the MHSAA 4A softball state playoffs. Kosciusko and West Lauderdale. Score is 3-0 Knights in the top of the fifth inning. As Kosciusko's yet to get a base hit tonight. It's been a couple of walks, but hits have been hard to come by after a good pitching performance by Addison Cornish. So the Whippets go back in the defense on the field, and then in the top of the fifth inning, first pitch from Mary Kimball Price, swinging strike one to Jenna Shirley. 0-1 count to Shirley as we're just getting started. In the top of the fifth inning, brought to you by The Breakfast Show. The 0-1 pitch from Price. And that one's low for ball one from Price. So nobody on base for West Lauderdale in the top of the fifth inning. Last at bat for Shirley, Jenna Shirley, she got on with a walk. And the 1-1 from Price, Jenna showing bunt, pulls it back. And that one's inside from Price for ball two. Two-one count to Shirley. Price takes a look at the wrist and the 2-1 pitch. That one's in for strike two. Good pitch by Mary Kimball Price. And it's a 2-2 count to Jenna Shirley. No outs in the Breakfast Show fifth inning. 2-2 count, no outs. 2-2 pitch from Price. And that one's high for ball three. Shirley takes a step out of the box, takes a couple little practice cuts, and it's a 3-2 count. No outs. 3-2 from Price. Ball's popped up foul. Moore has a read on it close to the first base dugout, and Allie Moore makes the grab for out number one. So one out as Jenna goes down with the pop out. It's back to the top of the order for West Lauderdale with Aniston Snyder coming into the batter's box for West Lauderdale. Scores 3-0 in the top of the fifth. West Lauderdale leading over Kosciusko. First pitch from Price. Pitch is in for a strike one. Snyder was trying to put down a little slap hit, but she holds back and pitches in anyway for strike one. Price takes a look at the wrist after the play call from Coach Wade Moore. 0-1 pitch. That one's low from Price for ball one. 1-1 count. After the last pitch was low, pitch to Price. They're going to say Snyder went around for strike 2 to Aniston Snyder for the 1-2 count. 1 out on the board, and Snyder's facing a 1-2 count from Mary Kimball Price. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is high and goes behind Gracie Kate Burrell at the plate for ball 2. Count is 2-2 after the pitch from Price. 1 out on top of the 5th. Score 3-0 West Lauderdale, leading Kosciusko. 2-2 from Price. Ball is hit directly to Moore, makes the scoop and the snag at first, so the ball was hit right to Moore. And she grabs the softball right off the first base line and just taps it on first for out number 2. So 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Snyder goes down with the ground out. And it brings up Addison Cornish, pitcher for West Lauderdale. Already has a sacrifice fly and an RBI for the Knights. First pitch missing for ball 1 to Cornish. Nobody on base for West Lauderdale with 2 outs on the board already. 1-0 pitch. That one is high from Price for ball 2. Count is 2-0. Price takes a look at the wrist. And the 2-0 pitch. Ball is popped up. Will stay in play. Moore running under it. And Allie Moore makes the grab for out number 3. So Moore made all 3 of those outs. 2 pop outs in foul territory and the ground out for out number 3. So Whippet defense holds strong. We're going to the bottom of the 5th. West Lauderdale 3, Kosciusko nothing. Stay tuned for more Whippet playoff softball from Boswell Media Sports.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Papa, what is the deal with all these tariffs I'm hearing about?
Miles, at Frank Chevrolet, we're not worried about tariffs today because the cars we've got in stock can be sold without them.
Papa, does that mean cars are cheaper now?
Miles, that's right. With rebates up to $6,000 and discounts up to $4,000, that's $10,000 off MSRP on select units. It's never been a better time than today, before the tariffs hit, to make your driving dreams come true. Frank Chevrolet has a large selection.
Shop us online at frankchevy.com.
Or come see us on Highway 35 North here in Kosciusko or call 662-289-4611. Beat the tariffs.
Papa, are we done yet?
Frank Chevrolet GMC. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to Peggy Abels Field here in Kosciusko, Mississippi for Game 2 in Round 2 of the MHSAA 4A Softball State Playoffs. Kosciusko and West Lauderdale taking place. West Lauderdale won Game 1 Thursday night in Collinsville, winning 3-0 in that matchup. And right here on Saturday night, got it for you live on Saturday Night Live. 3-0 lead for West Lauderdale. And leading off for Kosciusko will be Izzy Wallace. Wallace went down with a strikeout in her last at bat for the Whippets. The first pitch to Wallace is a ball 1. Wallace fouls off the next pitch for strike 1. So this game earlier was supposed to start at 7 o'clock, but game was postponed due to weather, allegedly. Sun was shining, but this got pushed back to 7:30, and now we're right at the top of the 5th inning, and the 1-1 pitch to Wallace. It's a swinging strike 2 to Izzy Wallace. Also, we want to thank Coach Hogan Briscoe and Coach Rhodes and Coach Wade Moore helping us get the field set for today's playoff game between Kosciusko and West Lauderdale. As Wallace fouls off the next pitch to stay alive at the plate. Count is 1-2 to Izzy Wallace. Fouls off the next pitch. Wallace stays alive in the box for strike 2. Wallace takes a step out of the box, and it's a 1-2 count. 1-2. Pitch is fouled off. Wallace stays alive in the box. So with Wallace battling at the plate, it's J.C. Black on deck for Kosciusko. 1-2 pitch to Wallace. And that one's outside for ball 2. Good eye by Wallace. Two-two count for Kosciusko. No outs in the bottom of the 5th. 2-2 pitch to Wallace. That one's high. Good eye by Izzy for ball 3. So Izzy Wallace with the full count. No outs in the bottom of the 5th. Whippets looking for a rally. That one's in the dirt, and Wallace will take the walk. Izzy Wallace makes the run down to first as she drew the walk, and it brings up J.C. Black. So J.C. Black steps into the box for Kosciusko with Izzy Wallace standing on first. Tries to get a bunt down, but it sails out of play by J.C. Black for strike 1. So it's an 0-1 count to Black. Wallace standing on first after the foul ball by Black. And Black pulls the bunt around, and it will hit the catcher, but they're going to say Black stuck around for the bunt. But on the wild pitch, Izzy Wallace got the advance on the wild pitch, so she's standing at second base. 0-2 pitch to J.C. Black. She goes down swinging for a strikeout for out number 1.
Now batting, number 17, Izzy Williams.
So Izzy Wallace standing at second brings up Izzy Williams. Batting for Kosciusko with 1 out in the inning. Last at bat for Williams, she went down with a ground out. Whippets still looking for the first hit in this ball game. A lot of walks so far with Dickerson, Burrell, Price, and Izzy Wallace getting a walk. First pitch to Williams is outside for ball 1. So the first pitch to Williams is in for strike 1. Second one swinging strike 2 to Izzy Williams. Wallace standing on second in the breakfast show 5th inning. It's an 0-2 count to Izzy Wallace in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out on the board. Williams fouls this one off and out of play as she stays alive in the box. So Williams fouls it off and stays alive in the batter's box. 1 out, 0-2 pitch. And Wallace taking off for third base, gets the stolen base by Izzy Wallace. So Williams held up at the plate for a ball. Wallace ran down to third and got the stolen base, so a runner on third for Kosciusko. Williams at the plate. It's a 1-2 count. 1-2 pitch to Williams, and she swings, misses for strike 3, so Williams goes down with a strikeout. And it's back to the top of the order for Kosciusko with McKinley Dickerson.
Now batting, number 12, McKinley
Dickerson got on base with a walk, but had a pop out in her last at bats. She's 0 for 1 on the day. Big spot for Kosciusko with Izzy Wallace standing on third. 2 outs in the inning. And Dickerson comes to bat for Kosciusko. First pitch is popped up by Dickerson into shallow right field. Catch is made by second baseman Aniston Snyder for out number 3. So that'll do it for the 5th inning. We're going to the top of the 6th. Kosciusko trailing 3-0 to West Lauderdale. Be back with more Whippet playoff softball from Boswell Media Sports.
Hi, this is Jay Price from Kosciusko Auto Parts, your new Exmart dealer. Spring is a lot like fielding drills. Like you have to get in front of the ball, now's the time to get in front of the things on that spring cleaning list. Right now, Exmark is featuring some heavy hitters that can turn those overgrown areas into a field of dreams. Whether it's Exmark's Residential Quest Mower, starting at $3,900, or the fully commercial Laser X Series lawn mower, these mowers will keep your lawns looking great and keep you on the playing field. Stop by Kosciusko Auto Parts and see us. Rough, ain't it?
Boswell Media Sports.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Did you know you do not have to drive for specialized care? Premier Medical Group in Kosciusko partners with specialists in urology, cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Have your primary care provider refer you to a PMG specialist today.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Good health is our priority.
Welcome back to Boswell Media Sports with the playoff softball right here on Cruising 98.3. And right after the Whippets at bat, it's to the top of the 6th with Courtney Lewis batting for West Lauderdale. Fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Last at bat for Lewis, she had a 2 RBI double. That was a big factor in the game with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Lewis hit the 2 RBI double for West Lauderdale. The 0-1 pitch from Price. And that one's low from Price for ball 1. And nobody on base as we're just getting started. In the top of the 6th, brought to you by BMO in the morning. It's a 1-1 count for Lewis. 1-1 pitch misses high for ball 2. So 2-1 count for Lewis. With no outs in the top of the 6th. Nobody on base for West Lauderdale. It's a 3-0 lead for the Knights. 2-1 from Price. That one's hit right to Dickerson at short, fielded cleanly. Throw back to first to Moore, and it's in time for out number 1. Good play by the Whippet infield. With Dickerson throwing it over to Moore for out number 1. It brings up Kylie Smith. Smith 0 for 2 on the day with a ground out and a pop out. With 1 out in the top of the 6th. Whippets trailing 3-0 to West Lauderdale. First pitch from Price is in for strike 1. With 1 out on the board. Price takes a look at the wrist and the 0-1 pitch. Ball is grounded foul by Smith as she stays alive in the box. So it makes it an 0-2 count to Kylie Smith. Oh-2 pitch from Price. And that one's called outside for ball 1 from Price. Count is 1-2. To Kylie Smith. 1 runner went down. Courtney Lewis went down with a ground out to start us off in the top of the 6th. And the 1-2 pitch from Price is ripped foul down the third base line by Kylie Smith, but that one will sail foul. The count stays at 1-2. So the count is 1-2. Smith takes a step out of the box and gets back in the box with a 1-2 count, 1 out in the top of the 6th. And the 1-2 pitch from Price. Fouls it off by Smith, and she stays alive with a 1-2 count. So 1-2 count for Kylie Smith. Whippets looking to get the bats back to the plate to try and get some runs rolling in this must-win game 2 for Kosciusko. 1-2 pitch from Price. That one's low for ball 2. And the count is 2-2. Whippets looking to try and win tonight to advance to a Game 3 winner-take-all series on Monday night with a 2-2 pitch from Price. Ball is hit into shallow left field, and it will drop for a base hit for Kylie Smith. Puts a runner on first for West Lauderdale. After the single by Kylie Smith, it'll bring up designated player Sarah Grace Robeson. So a runner on first for West Lauderdale in the top of the 6th inning, leading 3-0 over Kosciusko. 1 out, and it brings up Sarah Grace Robeson. Robeson showing bunt, pulls it back, runner taking off for second, throw down by Burrell. And they're going to say that she was out on the tag. What a play by Dickerson, reaching around to tag her on the foot. And a throw down by Burrell. So out number 2 for West Lauderdale, for Kosciusko actually, as Kylie Smith goes down with trying to go for second. So it's an 0-1 count, swinging strike 1 by Robeson. A little bit of excitement going on in the field. Fans a little split on that call, but she was out going for second base. What a throw by Burrell behind the plate, and good tag by Dickerson, getting that tag in time for out number 2. So it's 0-1 count. And the pitch after the strike is in for ball 1. It's a 1-1 count to Sarah Grace Robeson. One count. Bryce with the windup. Robeson nearly went around for it. They're going to say she did. So it's strike 2 to Sarah Grace Robeson. She's looking at a 1-2 count. 2 outs on the board. Price going to try and find a way to end this inning, get the Whippet bats up and rolling. It's about to get going. And the 1-2 pitch from Price as Robeson rips it into deep left field. Wallace going back at the wall, makes the grab, but it's off her glove in right field. She had the reach at it, but it was off her glove from Liza Wallace in left. It's going to be an error, and Robeson will advance to second base. So Robeson gets on with the error. And it brings up Aubrey Cooper for West Lauderdale. Whippets got to bounce back after that play. 2 outs on the board. Already 1 more, and they can get the bats up and rolling for Kosciusko. As Aubrey Cooper steps into the batter's box for the Knights. A single already for Cooper and a stolen base along with the ground out, so she's 1 for 2 on the night. Price with the pitch. Nearly went around. They're going to say she did for strike 1 by Aubrey Cooper. Oh, 1 pitch from Price. And that one's in as well. Back-to-back strikes thrown by Mary Kimball Price for 2 outs on the board. Whippets looking to limit the runs for West Lauderdale. It's 3-0 lead. Haven't scored in 2 innings, but there's a runner in scoring position on second base. Whippets looking to limit that. 0-2 pitch from Price, and it's fouled off over the concourse as Cooper stays alive in the batter's box. Count is 0-2 to Aubrey Cooper. Price takes a look at the wrist after the call from Coach Moore. And the 0-2 pitch from Mary Kimball. That one's grounded to Blaine at third. Throw back over to Moore at first. Makes the stretch and the grab for out number 3. So the Whippets are able to hold the runner at second to not come around and score. Score is still West Lauderdale 3, Kosciusko nothing. Be back with more Whippets softball from Boswell Media Sports.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Did you know you do not have to drive for specialized care? Premier Medical Group in Kosciusko partners with specialists in urology, cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Have your primary care provider refer you to a PMG specialist today.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Good health is our priority.
Hi, this is Jay Price from Kosciusko Auto Parts, your new Exmark dealer. Spring is a lot like fielding drills. Like you have to get in front of the ball, now's the time to get in front of the things on that spring cleaning list. Right now, Exmark is featuring some heavy hitters that can turn those overgrown areas into a field of dreams. Whether it's Exmark's Residential Quest Mower, starting at $3,900, or the fully commercial Laser X-Series lawn mower, these mowers will keep your lawns looking great and keep you on the playing field. Stop by Kosciusko Auto Parts and see us. Rough, ain't it?
Boswell Media Sports.
Whippet playoff softball rolls on Cruising 98.3 and the Boswell Media Sports YouTube channel. Gracie Kate Burrell starts it off with a little popper to shallow left field, but it's fielded. What a play by Aubrey Cooper, having to make that grab. It was a very tough adjustment, but Cooper makes the grab, and Gracie Kate goes down with a pop out. Ball was hit by Gracie Kate, and I thought it was going to drop in shallow left field, but it was really a great adjustment by the shortstop Aubrey Cooper for West Lauderdale. Had to really turn around and adjust to make that grab. It was a very tough play, but she made it, so credit to her for making that great play. And it's 1 out for Kosciusko in the bottom of the 6th. Brings up Mary Kimball Price. 1-0 pitch to Price. That one's outside for ball 2. Whippets are looking to get their first hit of the night. Haven't had some on-base runners with some walks, but no hits so far for the Whippets as Price fouls this one off for strike 1. It's a 2-1 count to Price with 1 out. So 2-1 pitch from Cornish to Price. She fouls this one off as well for strike 2. Count is 2-2 to Mary Kimball Price. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Cornish with the 2-2 pitch to Price, and that one's in the dirt for ball 3. It's Price with the good eye on the play, and it's a full count for Mary Kimball Price. In the bottom of the 6th, 3-2 pitch. Ball is ripped into left field, base hit for Price, and that will be the first base hit for Kosciusko. Breaking up the no-hitter by Addison Cornish. So Mary Kimball standing on first. So Price standing on first. Allie Moore steps in the batter's box for Kosciusko.
Now batting, number 16, Allie Moore.
So Price standing on first in the BMO in the morning 6th inning in Kosciusko. 1 out already. As Allie Moore calls time at the plate. Moore on the night. 0 for 2, looking to break that here. First pitch is fouled off by Allie Moore for strike 1. As mentioned with Mary Kimball's hit, that's the first base hit for the Whippets tonight. Maybe they can string together and get the Whippet bats hot as in this bottom of the 6th inning with the Whippets trailing 3-0 to West Lauderdale. 0-1 pitch by Cornish is outside for ball 1. Good eye by Allie. It looked on that corner, but just kept the bat on the shoulders and elected not to swing for make it a 1-1 count. 1-1 pitch to Allie, and that one's in for strike 2 for Madison Cornish. One out on already. 1-2 pitch to Moore, and that one will hit her. So Whippets will take it. Allie Moore advances to first base. Mary Kimball to second. Whippets catch a break as that one hit Allie Moore, and it brings up Lindsey Blaine.
Now batting, number 1, Lindsey Blaine.
So Moore on first, Price on second. Lindsey Blaine steps into the box for Kosciusko. One out already, bottom of the 6th. Whippets trailing 3-0 to Kosciusko. Blaine calls time at the plate, which is similar to what Moore did to try and disrupt Addison Cornish, pitcher for West Lauderdale. First pitch to Blaine. That one's outside for ball 1. 1-0 count to Lindsey Blaine. Blaine with the 1-0. That one's fouled off by Blaine, battling in the box. Price on second, Moore on first. 1-1 pitch to Blaine. She fouls this one off as well. Stay alive in the box for strike 2. Count is 1-2 to Lindsey Blaine. Whippets really need to string together some runs so you don't have to have as much of a hole in the 7th. With runners on first and second, the 1-2 pitch. Blaine keeps the bat on the shoulders as that one was outside for ball 2. Count is 2-2 to Lindsey Blaine. That one was a little bit outside for ball 2. Good eye by Blaine. 2-2 pitch. Blaine rips this one right past second base. Price rounding second, headed for the plate. No throw to the plate. That will score a run for Kosciusko. RBI single for Lindsey Blaine. Score is 3-1 Kosciusko. Trailing by 2 to West Lauderdale. So Blaine had a good piece of that one. Puts runners on first and second with the RBI single by Lindsey Blaine. Brings up Jules Black for Kosciusko. In the bottom of the 6th. Runners on first and second. Moore on second. Blaine on first. First pitch to Black. That one's outside for ball 1. Time is called by West Lauderdale, so we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Whippet Softball Playoff Edition on Boswell Media Sports continues.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Did you know you do not have to drive for specialized care? Premier Medical Group in Kosciusko partners with specialists in urology, cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Have your primary care provider refer you to a PMG specialist today.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Rough, ain't it? Boswell Media Sports.
Whippet Playoff Softball continues on Cruising 98.3 and the Boswell Media Sports YouTube channel. We want to thank Frank Chevrolet for sponsoring our online stream tonight as Whippets are in a close one. So after the ball thrown, after the time called by West Lauderdale, it's going to be a change of pitching for the Knights. It's going to be a new pitcher for West Lauderdale. Pitching for the Knights will be Presley Wade. So we're going to take a break and let Wade get warmed up and be back with more Whippet softball from Boswell Media Sports.
Parents and students are just shocked when they find out with a 20 on your ACT, you could go to Home CC for free. Do you have a 20 on your ACT?
Why, yes. Wait. Hold on a sec. You're right. I am shocked. You're saying my tuition could be free?
Yes, and your household income does not matter.
Why in the world would Holmes Community College offer free tuition with a 20 on the ACT?
See, we don't want you drowning in college debt when you graduate. In fact, all of us here at Holmes are so committed to our students' success, we've kept our tuition lower than every other state community college. And even though parents and students are shocked by it and have a hard time believing it, just remember, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT at Holmes CC.
Sounds to me like there's no place like Holmes.
That's Holmes Community College.
Boswell Media Sports.
All right, so we're back from the break with a new pitcher for West Lauderdale. It's a 2-0 count for Jules Black. First pitch is in for strike one, a change of speed for West Lauderdale as Addison Cornish is done pitching for the night for West Lauderdale. It's Presley Wade pitching for the Knights. So runners on first and second. Wade hit right back to second, throw back to first, and it's a double play for Kosciusko. So the Knights turn 2 on the play, and that will end the bottom of the 6th. Whippets leave 2 on base. So we're going to go to the top of the 7th inning. Whippets have some work to do, trailing 3-1 to West Lauderdale. We'll be back with more Whippet playoff softball from Boswell Media Sports.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Papa, what is the deal with all these tariffs I'm hearing about?
Miles, at Frank Chevrolet, we're not worried about tariffs today because the cars we've got in stock can be sold without them.
Papa, does that mean cars are cheaper now?
Miles, that's right. With rebates up to $6,000 and discounts up to $4,000, that's $10,000 off MSRP on select units. It's never been a better time than today, before the tariffs hit, to make your driving dreams come true. Frank Chevrolet has a large selection.
Shop us online at frankchevy.com.
Or come see us on Highway 35 North here in Kosciusko, or call 662-289-4611. Beat the tariffs.
Papa, are we done yet?
Frank Chevrolet GMC. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Boswell Media Sports.
Welcome back to Peggy Abel's Field, just getting started in the Carousel House 7th inning. Kosciusko is trailing West Lauderdale 3-1. Brings up Olivia Shows coming to bat for the Knights. After the change in pitching, Presley Wade was thrown in to pitch for West Lauderdale. And the Knights were able to turn 2 with a throw back to second. After the snag at third, it's a quick snag at third by Callie Cottrell, and made the throw back to first and caught Allie Moore out number 3. So the score is 1-1, count is 1-1 to Olivia Shows. Score is 3-1 West Lauderdale. Whippets were able to pick up a run after the RBI single by Lindsey Blaine. As that pitch is inside for ball 2 from Mary Kimball Price. Count is 2-1 to Shows from Price. Ball is hit into left field. Wallace making a run at it and can't make the grab. Ball drops in left field, and it's a double for Olivia Shows. And she's standing on second. So the runner standing on second
Now batting, number 30.
Gonna have a pinch runner for Olivia Shows for West Lauderdale. Waiting to get the name on her. It'll be, well, there's not a number 6 on the roster for West Lauderdale, so we don't really know who it is. And I think that's what, okay, so we don't really know who that is on second base for West Lauderdale. Her number is 6. But there's not a number 6 on the roster, so we don't know. Runner standing on second. It brings up Callie Cottrell. Score is 3-1 West Lauderdale in the top of the 7th inning, brought to you by the Carousel House. No outs. Pitch from Price. Bunt is down. Right back to Price. Throw over to first to Williams. And in time for out number 1, but the runner advances to third base on the bunt.
Now batting, number 13.
It'll bring up Jenna Shirley batting for the Knights with 1 out. So 1 out on the board for Kosciusko. Runner standing on third. Score is 3-1 Knights leading the Whippets in the top of the 7th inning. Time is called at the plate by the umpire, and time was called by Jenna Shirley. Shirley on the night has a walk and a pop out. 0 for 1 on the night for Shirley. Puts a bunt down, and that one's off of Gracie Kate Burrell. She didn't make the grab, but it was off her. Looked to be the chest protector right off of that. But she swung at it for strike 1. So the count is 0-1 to Jenna Shirley. Runner standing on third for West Lauderdale in the top of the 7th. Whippets trailing 3-1. 0-1 pitch from Price. Swinging strike 2 from Mary Kimball Price. And Shirley's looking at a 0-2 count. Whippets looking to try and limit the run so they can have a good chance to at least tie or walk it off in the bottom of the 7th. But it's an 0-2 count to Jenna Shirley. Bunt is down. She stuck it out there, and that's in for strike 3. A strikeout for Price. It's back to the top of the order with 2 outs on the board for Aniston Snyder. So 2 outs for West Lauderdale. Whippets trailing 3-1 in the top of the 7th. Whippets looking to pick up an out here to try and limit the runner from going from third to home. 2 outs. Price takes a look at the wrist, and the pitch on the way for Mary Kimball. Hit is down, fielded by Williams, but it's off her glove, and that will score a run for West Lauderdale. Williams tried to backhand it, couldn't make the grab, so it's a base hit for Aniston Snyder. So 2 outs still for West Lauderdale. And it brings up Addison Cornish. Two outs in the top of the 7th, 1 out. No change in runner for West Lauderdale as Addison Cornish steps back into the box for the Knights. Two outs, top of the 7th, 4-1. Kosciusko trailing. First pitch from Price. Ball is hit to short, fielded by Dickerson. Throw back to Moore at first. And it's in time for out number 3. So the Whippets are able to only allow 1 run in the inning. It's 4-1. West Lauderdale leading Kosciusko. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Hoping to keep the playoff train rolling here in Kosciusko. Whippets going to need to score 3 runs to tie the bottom of the 7th. So stay tuned for more Whippets softball. Boswell Media Sports.
Before you begin those do-it-yourself projects outside your home or business, be sure you know where your underground utilities are located. Always call before you dig. One easy phone call to 811 can protect you from injury and expense. Plus, it's the law in Mississippi. Make the call and avoid serious or fatal injury. For more electrical safety tips, contact Central Electric Power Association, serving you since 1937, an equal opportunity provider and employer.
Shopping for car insurance is so confusing. Holy cow.
Great. Now we have a cow in our kitchen. Why did you say that?
Because I don't know what coverage to choose.
So just say the State Farm jingle.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A State Farm agent can go over all your options with you and help you choose coverage that meets your needs. Dude, cow, could you move?
Call State Farm agent Angel Alvin.
Welcome back to Peggy Abel's Field for second round, game 2 of the MHSAA 4A state playoffs. Whippets trailing 4-1 to West Lauderdale and leading off in the top of the 7th, or bottom of the 7th for Kosciusko, center fielder Izzy Wallace. Second ball was thrown to Wallace, and it misses for ball 2. So it's a 2-0 count to Wallace in the Carousel House. 7th inning, ball is popped into center field. Catch is made in center for out number 1. So Wallace goes down with a pop out, and it brings up right fielder J.C. Black. So 1 out for Kosciusko. Black at the plate. First pitch to Black is popped into center field. Catch is made for out number 2. So the Whippets are down to 1 out left on the season. And it looks like it's going to be it's going to be Maylee Shaw pinch hitting for Isabel Williams. So Maylee Shaw comes in to pinch hit for Kosciusko. With 2 outs in the game, Whippets are down to their last out, looking to Shaw try and keep the train rolling for Kosciusko. So nobody on base for Kosciusko. First pitch to Shaw. Pitch is outside for ball 1. Good eye by Maylee Shaw. Hitting for Kosciusko. Pinch hitting for Isabel Williams. 1-0 pitch to Shaw. Swinging strike 1 to Shaw. In the Carousel House, bottom of the 7th, Whippets trailing 4-1 to West Lauderdale. Season on the line for the Whippets. 1-1 pitch to Shaw. It's 2-1 count after that pitch was high in the zone. 2-1 pitch to Shaw. First pitch was a little high. Shaw pops this one up in foul territory. Catch is made in foul territory for out number 3. So final score, West Lauderdale 4, Kosciusko 1. That will end the Whippets season, and they will finish the season with the loss to West Lauderdale, getting beat in the second round of the playoffs. We're going to stick around and have a short post-game show, so stick around for more conclusion of Whippet softball on Boswell Media Sports.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Papa, what is the deal with all these tariffs I'm hearing about?
Miles, at Frank Chevrolet, we're not worried about tariffs today because the cars we've got in stock can be sold without them.
Papa, does that mean cars are cheaper now?
Miles, that's right. With rebates up to $6,000 and discounts up to $4,000, that's $10,000 off MSRP on select units. It's never been a better time than today, before the tariffs hit, to make your driving dreams come true. Frank Chevrolet has a large selection
Shop us online at frankchevy.com.
Or come see us on Highway 35 North here in Kosciusko or call 662-289-4611. Beat the tariffs.
Papa, we done yet?
Frank Chevrolet GMC. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Frank Chevrolet GMC, making your driving dreams come true.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Your good health is our priority.
Did you know you do not have to drive for specialized care? Premier Medical Group in Kosciusko partners with specialists in urology, cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. Have your primary care provider refer you to a PMG specialist today.
Premier Medical Group, PMG. Good health is our priority.
Boswell Media Sports.
Final score from the Peggy Abels Field in Kosciusko, Mississippi. West Lauderdale 4, Kosciusko 1. That will conclude the Lady Whippets season, and they will drop to West Lauderdale in round 2 of the playoffs. So I want to take this time in the post-game show to congratulate the Lady Whippets on how far they've made it this season, on a successful year. I also want to thank these Whippet seniors. We'll call them out by name. Those will be your Boswell Media Sports players of the game. It'll be the Whippet seniors, starting with pitcher Mary Kimball Price, captain for the team. Kaniza Floyd, senior for the Whippets. Also, shortstop McKinley Dickerson, another captain, senior captain for this Whippet softball team, along with first baseman Allie Moore, senior captain as well for the Lady Whippets. And that will conclude and be the Boswell Media Sports players of the game will be the Whippet softball seniors. So I want to congratulations to these ladies on a successful run they've had playing this sport since around the 7th grade. These ladies have been a part of the Whippet program for 6 years. They've done a lot, winning 2 state championships in the process. And very successful run by the Lady Whippet seniors, concluding their run tonight as Whippets. Want to thank them for time they spent wearing Whippet uniform. Know they've worn it with a lot of pride for Kosciusko in the city, so we want to thank them for all they've done. But it was a tough loss night for the Whippets, only recording 1 hit or 2 hits tonight, one by Mary Kimball Price going 1 for 2 at the plate, and also Lindsey Blaine with an RBI single going 1 for 3 at the plate. Those were the 2 Lady Whippets with hits on the night, so it's a very tough defensive battle for Kosciusko. So congratulations once again to the Lady Whippets on a successful season, but unfortunately it comes to an end tonight here at the Peggy Abels Field in Kosciusko, Mississippi. So once again, I'm Sam Rigby bringing you this call tonight. It's been a pleasure covering the Lady Whippets softball the past couple of weeks. I've enjoyed every bit of it, and I'm sure we'll be back here next year making a big run at the big one. So until next time, from Boswell Media Sports, this is Sam Rigby signing off. Go Whippets.